you again with the latest and the greatest in these cryptocurrency markets. Do me a quick favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Now let's get into it. Today, we're going to talk about the cryptocurrency market. Some of the things that's going on, some of the things that we're seeing. We're seeing the price continuing to come down. We see a little bit of rallies here and there, but the price is continuing to come down. The stock market is closed today. Happy President's Day to everybody. But the harsh reality is that this bear market is not going to be quick. It's going to play out like it always does. Going to be a little bit painful, but this is just something that we are going to have to deal with. Already got through a month and a half, almost through 2 months. A lot of people thought the market, the bull market, whatever it was, will get extended to January. People were saying, well, if it don't happen in December 2025, let me go ahead and give it to January 2026. It might pop in January 2026. As you can see, January is already done. Nothing happened, nothing exciting. So February is here. We're seeing what February is presenting to us. So this is just a tough time that we're having to deal with. So we're having to make a decision and say, okay, how am I going to stand through it? How am I going to position myself through the rest of 2026? What type of plays am I going to be doing? Am I just going to be sitting, holding, waiting for things to move? Or am I going to be a little bit more proactive, trying to time where the bottom is, dollar cost averaging at the various dips that we see? But we are in for a long crypto winter. Let me go ahead and get this out the way. This is not financial advice. Anything I say is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell any crypto. This video is strictly for educational and entertainment purposes only. Before investing into anything, please consult with a professional financial advisor. Cryptocurrency, we're taking a look at the markets right now. And I remember when Bitcoin was $100,000, $110,000, I was contemplating and thinking to myself, I'm saying, okay, I know the large institutions, they're involved, or they have access to Bitcoin, so forth and so on. Are they buying in the $100,000 range? Are they buying in $110,000 range? Or will they do something, or will they just sit around and wait till the bear market comes? And then when the bear market comes, how will they react? Will we see them being very aggressive? If Bitcoin gets to $70,000, will the institutions get aggressive? What levels will we see the large institutions get aggressive and really start buying up Bitcoin? Is what I was contemplating when Bitcoin was very high. So we already seen Bitcoin hit $70,000. We kind of saw what happened during that time. Then we seen Bitcoin dip down to $60,000, and we've seen what happened during the $60,000 range. So we understand that these large institutions, these guys have the smartest financial gurus on their team. These guys have been studying Bitcoin for years. These guys watch all the cryptocurrency videos. They know about the 4-year cycle. They know about the Bitcoin halving, so forth and so on. So they know about watching the 200-week moving average, all that good stuff. So they've done their due diligence, done their research. Now I am watching at the levels that they will be starting to get greedy at. When will they start to load up and prepare for the next Bitcoin bull market? Because that's what it's all about ultimately. Cryptocurrency have kind of been dialed in. A lot of people was very stretched out as far as being super diverse. A lot of people was very excited about cryptocurrency, altcoins, so forth and so on. There's still some great altcoins out there, but there's just tons of altcoins out there. And it's just very overwhelming for a lot of folks, where people are really just starting to focus on Bitcoin. We've seen this time and time again, but this time could be something a little different. For one, a lot of the retail investors are gone. The retail investors are the ones who were funneling in and holding up the altcoins. That's no longer around. The altcoin developers were the ones who were selling the retail investors the dream, telling them that this altcoin does this, this, and the third, knowing that it don't. So they were feeding them the fuel and they were eating it up, pumping the price up. But I think those days are over for now. Bitcoin seems to be the one that people are really focusing on. Even though the folks who've been in cryptocurrency for years, they're now saying, you know what? I'm done with altcoins. I'm fed up with altcoins. Altcoins have not done what I expected, even on down from XRP, Jasmy coin, um, meme coins, all that good stuff. Um, Things have just not played out like a lot of cryptocurrency investors had wished. So, President's Day, hopefully y'all got the day off, kicking back, relaxing. Stock market's closed. Sometimes you just got to take a breather, but the stock market will be back open tomorrow. How will the stock market perform tomorrow? Is cryptocurrency just waiting idle for the stock market to open before it make its next move to the up or the downside? Let's see who we got rocking and rolling with us today. Rishi John, what is going on with you, my guy? Shouts out to Rishi John. Welcome to the Monday afternoon stock holiday show. Who else we got locked in with us? Crypto Cole. Crypto Cole, what's going on with you, brother? Happy Monday to you. Who else we got rocking and rolling with us? YM Millionaire. Greetings to you too, young man. Hey, we are all in this together, man. This is something that we're going to have to tackle together. If this is your first time rocking with your boy Stock Holiday, do me one favor, two favor, three favors, and hit that like button. I appreciate you. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell, all that good stuff. But you know, these are very interesting times that we are facing, that we're witnessing in this cryptocurrency market. A lot of people are talking about the Clarity Act. They say it's about a 72% chance that the Clarity Act will be passed, but my question is when? They've been giving us dates that the Clarity Act will be presented, will be passed, the date come, and then they say, oh, well, something was changed in the Clarity Act. Somebody's not approving it. I mean, continuing to dangle these various things over our head, continuing to stretch things out, continuing to prolong the process. So high probability that it will pass, but the question is now, when? When will it pass? We thought it was going to be January, thought it was going to be the first part of February. We just don't know when. So a lot of these things are out of our control, but at the same time, if you still understand the 4-year cycle, we are in a bear market. I don't care if the Clarity Act is passed, excuse me, the Darity Act, Popularity Act, bear market is a bear market. We've seen last year, 2025, we saw a lot of positive news get unleashed in the cryptocurrency market, and the market did not respond in a positive way. So a lot of times this stuff is hype, overhype. I like the 4-year cycle. During the 4-year cycle, when you're in a bull market, I don't care what news is coming out, the markets are going to pump. During the 4-year cycle, when you're in a bear market, I don't care what news is coming out, the market is just going to be weak. So let's see who else we got rocking and rolling with us. Joe Morris, what's going on with you, man? He say, hey, bro, fresh off work. Yeah, we bear accumulate time. Yeah, bear market. When you're in a bear market, it's just time to accumulate. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. LVKM, what's going on with you, big dog? There you go with the sideways name. I'll be forgetting what name to call you. E Money 8871, what's going on with you, fella? What's going on with y'all, man? Uh-oh, my man Joe Morris, what's going on with you, brother? Joe Morris say he think this the bottom. Why's my light keep tripping? Joe Morris say he think that this is the bottom, and it very well could be. $60,000 could have been the bottom, but only time will tell. But when you take a look at the bear market, you take a look at history. I think the bear market is going to be a little bit longer. I think the bear market is going to be a little bit longer. It's going to go a little bit lower than what we have seen at the $60,000 range. Crypto codes say I don't see Bitcoin surpassing $126,000, but I see from a chart point of your altcoin season is close. Total crypto market cap is bullish for the yearly. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get past $126,000 in this year, 2026. I think we'll probably get. I think the first level we're going to hit is 75,000. We hit $75,000. I think once we hit $75,000, I think we're going to see our next big scary red candle. Just like when Bitcoin was 76, we saw it get down to 60. I think when we get 73, 74, we're going to see another big nasty dip that is going to place us in the low 60s, and then from there we probably be in the high 50s. It's just going to bleed out. We're just going to bleed out according to how we did last cycle. These are some of the similar patterns that we have been through before. See who else we got rocking with us. Timothy Williams, what's going on with you, my man? He say, hey, coach, are you still in the lever protocol play? No, I'm not in that play anymore. I sold out of that play. No, I sold out of that play, brother. Just wasn't doing nothing, man. Stay blessed, brother. Stay blessed. Joe Morris say, I hope, man. We all hope. That's all we are sitting on right now, man. Everybody is sitting on a bunch of hopium right now. He said, Coach, spell it from right to left. That's my name, man. You trying to make me dizzy if I spell it from right to left. DeFi crypto, what's going on? He said, do you think we've been in the bear market since the peak of 2024? No. Since 2025, news didn't move the market. Well, that's a great question, because Bitcoin was not in a bear market. Altcoins was obviously in a bear market. So that's where a lot of the confusion is. So we take a look at the correlations from altcoins and Bitcoins, and we ask ourselves, why did the disconnect happen? Why did altcoins get out of alignment with Bitcoin when, since day one, altcoins have always aligned with Bitcoin? And now all of a sudden we're seeing things disconnect. So that right there is very different. We've never seen that. Altcoins were obviously in a bear market. 2025, we saw those altcoins bleed out 60, 70, 80%. And that's what I'm saying. Now, if we are in a true bear market in 2026, imagine how these altcoins are really going to bleed out. So that's the scary part. That's why I've really been kind of repositioning some things, especially with my altcoins, because they're just draining. I'd rather sit around and wait for Bitcoin to 4x. Bitcoin $60,000-$70,000. We expecting Bitcoin to hit $250,000 2028, 2029. That's a 4x versus what some of our altcoins been doing. So I'm going to hold my Bitcoin position. If I see Bitcoin get down to lower levels, I'm going to go in a little more heavier. Still going to be dabbling in some of the altcoins that I think can have a great recoveries, Solana, so forth and so on. But It is going to be a tough 2026. 2026 is going to be tough for us to navigate through with confidence. So we talked about the Clarity Act. One of the things that we're waiting on, one of the things that they're dangling over our heads. But we still have to make sure we keep things in proper perspective. We still have to pay attention to the 4-year cycle. The 4-year cycle is still solid and strong as ever. The numbers may have changed because every cycle that occurs seems like the bull market speeds up. The bull market happened 1 or 2 months faster, or ends 1 or 2 months faster. 2021, it ended November. 2025, it ended October. So 2029, will it end September? These are some of the things that we have to pay attention to. And also saying that means that the bear market will end faster. The bear market is not going to be as long as it was during 2022. So now that I'm saying that out loud, I have to rethink my 550-day theory. As far as buying 550 days before the Bitcoin halving, at least I'll still be in that range. Even if it's 520 days, you knock off 1 month. So I'm still going to stick on that theory. That's when I'm going to be loading the boats. I'm going to look in my backyard, see what I can sell. I'm going to pick some lemons off my lemon tree, go sell some lemon trees. I'm going to try to get as much dry powder as I can so I can be ready with 550 days before the next Bitcoin halving, which is towards the end of this year. So I'm just chilling, relaxing this year. I'm waiting patiently, trusting the process, and waiting for that time to where I could get the green light and say, okay, I think this might be the time for me to dive in. See who else we got rocking with us. Who else we got rocking with us today? Machiavelli. Crypto code say HMM could altcoin be decoupling. Mm. Oh, could altcoins be decoupling? Man, we see it. Craig Beach, what is going on with you, boy? Wise mind. I be forgetting his name. I'm like, man, wise mind to give you them word plays, man. Charlie Bank, what's happening with you, boy? He say don't sleep on So Sudo. Best meme project still in pre-launch. Real vision, real community. Early is where the winner's position. Yeah, if you can. Why is my light going out? I don't know why my light's going out. Yeah, if you can get into these projects early, that's always best. But we've been seeing a lot of these projects when they start, you get in them early. People who get in early, they by the time they get exposed to us, that's when they start selling. Once we start to buy in, we think we're getting in at a good price. They start to sell, dump. You say, damn, I thought I was getting in at a good price. Once again, we exit liquidity is happening sooner and sooner. Before, exit liquidity used to be, they used to hold it for a couple of years. Now, man, you give it a couple of months and they selling. You say, oh man, they got me again. So just paying attention to the different movements. But like I say, 2026, I'm gonna be chilling in 2026, waiting for 550 days before the next Bitcoin halving, and that's gonna be towards the end of this year. So we just want to make sure that we don't miss the forest for the trees. Don't miss the forest for the trees. You want to make sure that you focus on the big picture. Focus on the 4-year cycle. Focus on the 4-year cycle. Let's not focus on next month, the month after that. Focus on the 4-year cycle. Identify the various marks. Identify 550 days after the Bitcoin halving, 550 days before the Bitcoin halving. Identify where the top of the cycle was. where the start of the bear market occurred. Once you identify these points, we should be okay. So we're gonna do it a little bit different this time. We're gonna trust the 4-year cycle to the T, and we're gonna have some fun with it. We're gonna make some profits, have some fun with it. We got the fifth Bitcoin halving coming up, April 2028. I think it will be. That's going to be exciting. The Bitcoin mining rewards will be reduced. And that is one of the things that nobody seems to be talking about. Nobody seems to be talking about the Bitcoin miners. Those are the folks who are producing the Bitcoins. So they are an important part of all this also. So the next Bitcoin halving is April 2028. The mining rewards will be reduced from 3.125 to 1.56. So the infrastructure is not broken. The infrastructure for Bitcoin is still solid. A lot of us got caught up with altcoins. Altcoins was a huge distraction. Is altcoin still a huge distraction? That is a question that you have to ask yourself. Are altcoins still a huge distraction? Because we know the infrastructure for Bitcoin is still what it is. Every 4 years you see the Bitcoin halving. Every 4 years, the mining rewards gets reduced in half. We're going to go from 3.125 rewards to 1.56. That will be produced. You're talking about going from, where we at, 450 Bitcoins that could be mined right now, all the way down to 225 Bitcoins that could be mined per day. That's going to be huge. You're talking about now, that's when people will be talking about Bitcoin being a finite asset, Bitcoin being scarce. They're going to start talking about the scarcity of Bitcoin. And that's going to be huge. That's going to be more powerful than silver and gold. Because silver and gold, we know there's no finite amount. There's still a lot of silver and gold that has been undiscovered. And that'll probably be, it's always going to be silver and gold that's not going to be discoverable. But Bitcoin, we know that there's a finite amount. The scarcity of Bitcoin is going to be a factor. 450 Bitcoins can be mined per day right now. You take $60,000 per Bitcoin times 450 Bitcoin, that's only $27 million. So one of these big whales out here, they can buy up all of the Bitcoins that can be produced in one day. Doing one purchase, they could spend 27 million. And I want to buy up all the Bitcoins that's going to be produced today. You're talking about a supply shock? That's why I'm super bullish. I wish I would have been super bullish on Bitcoin before, but we saw what altcoins did. We saw altcoins do great multipliers. So yeah, we were going to continue to be in altcoins, but altcoins are different. We talked about how the market is so saturated. There's just so many altcoins out there right now. It is hard to even trust altcoins. We've seen what altcoins have done. We've seen what they have not done. And I think that's been the most alarming part, the part that altcoins have not done. Altcoins have not had an altcoin season. So when you talk about the infrastructure of Bitcoin, the infrastructure of Bitcoin is still solid. Every 4 years, we had a Bitcoin halving. Every 4 years, the mining rewards get cut in half. Altcoin season. Every 4 years, we see an altcoin season, right? Not last year. That's why the infrastructure of altcoins have been broken. Last year, we were saying, damn, look like the 4-year cycle is broken. We didn't understand the 4-year cycle wasn't broken. Altcoin season cycle was broken, but not the 4-year Bitcoin cycle. So that was the confusion that caught us off guard. That was the confusion that um, really sent us a curveball last year. That's where a lot of things got twisted last year. Comparing altcoins to Bitcoin, the altcoin season is solid. The infrastructure for no, the Bitcoin season, cycle is solid. Infrastructure for Bitcoin is awesome. It's still good. Altcoins, it is hard to trust altcoins right now. But we understand that's typically what happened when you see the bear market. You know, the altcoins start to tank. But the part that shakes us up the most is that last year, 2025, that wasn't supposed to be a bear market for altcoins, and that is what we saw. So, you know, it's just a lot of moving parts, man. Cryptocurrency every day, you just don't know what it is that you're going to awake to. When you wake up, you don't know if Bitcoin is going to be up 4,000, down 4,000. Altcoins all over the place. Solana, Ethereum trying to hold its own, but it can only do so much. We are in the bear market, so that is to be expected. So going to be interesting to see how things continue to push. Earlier, we were at $68,400 for Bitcoin. Let's see where we're at right now. The Fear and Greed Index is at 12. The Fear and Greed Index is at 12. Now, we talked about the Fear and Greed Index having a new floor of 5, which is crazy, but we could easily see the Fear and Greed Index move between 5, 6, and 15. One day you may see a 15, it might go to 12, then it might go to 8 and bounce back up, just trading in that sideways canal. Bitcoin, $68,700 right now. We did see it hit $70,000, then it came right back down. So $71,000 seems to be the resistance level. Solana's back at $85, Ethereum back at $1,990. But how will the markets respond tomorrow? How will the markets respond tomorrow when the stock market open up? One of the things I've been paying attention to is the stock market, because I'm expecting the stock market to tank soon. So trying to time it, not trying to time it, paying attention to the VIX, repositioning and moving some things into the VIX right now before the market come down crashing. Because when it start to come down crashing, the VIX is going to pump and be explosive. So I'm going to be taking advantage of that. But we talked about the 200-week moving average in Bitcoin. That's the level that you kind of want to see hit. And then we talked about, so when I'm taking a look at the stock market, looking at the 200 moving week for the S&P 500, look like we're at, I think it's 6,500 bucks, somewhat 6,500 points. Currently, right now, we're 6,800 points. So when I do see it get close to 6,500, that right there is going to let me know that things could come caving in. Even though you may hear the politicians, you may hear the news headlines telling us something else. I heard somebody say Dow Jones could see 100,000 points. Well, yeah, that's possible. That'll probably be next cycle. Right now, we just crossed over 50,000 points for the Dow Jones. Right now, we're 49,500. I mean, awesome numbers, all-time high, right? Awesome numbers. Let's see, all-time high where we hit 50,135. Was that the top? Was that the top of the Dow Jones? That could have easily been the top. So these are some of the things that I am looking at and paying attention to. We're at 49,500 right now. So gonna be interesting to see how the market wake up tomorrow. Stock market going cycles, cryptocurrency going cycles. I'm trying to think. Last cycle, I think the stock market popped off first, and then crypto did its thing afterwards. But this time, the stock market has been doing good for a pretty long time. So things are definitely moving different. Even the spike in gold and silver, I mean, I think that probably caught a lot of people off guard. We saw silver go from $122 to $69. Nobody blinked. Nobody called silver a scam. Silver got cut almost down 50%. I'm talking about in a matter of a month. Nobody panicked. Nobody freaked out. Nobody said silver is dead. But Bitcoin go from 126,000 to 70 or $60,000, and it's every name in the book. So we just have to understand that this is what happened to all assets: gold, silver, Bitcoin. Even though it occurred like that, that still does not take away from the fact that it is a store of value. Bitcoin is still a store of value asset. Silver is still a store of value asset, even though it went from $122 down to $69 in a matter of weeks. Bitcoin went from $126,000 to $60,000 in a matter of months. Does not take away the fact that it is still a store of value. You just have to understand how to play it. And then when something is considered a store of value, you're not worried about the movements. You're not worried about the movements. That's why I say don't miss the forest for the trees. When you understand that something is a store of value, you do not panic. If anything, when you see the value come down, when you see the discounts, okay, you know what? I got these other funds that I want to store. Now this is a great time to store these. Boom, DCA. Let me get this dry powder and store it right now at the low point, $68,000. Boom. The price come down lower to $52,000, $55,000. Let me find some more dry powder and let me store it. Boom. Is all we need to do. Just like the bears, when they hibernate, they get to storing their food. They get to store it. Store of wealth is very important. When you understand that concept, you don't panic. You're investing in the S&P 500. You're investing in these mutual funds. Just store it. Over time, the price is always going to be higher. It may not happen 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, but over a span of time, you will be rewarded. Don't miss the forest for the trees is a great concept. We're not worried about this tree right here, this tree over there. We took the whole forest is what counts. We're not worried about January, February, March. We're not worried about 2025. We worry about the whole forest. So when you start looking at things like that, you say, you know what, let me chill. Why am I so emotional? But let me go ahead and make sure that I'm properly diversified. Let me make sure that I'm not 100% into altcoins. Make sure I got some exposure in Bitcoin and whatever other store value assets that you want is one of the lessons that was learned in 2025. Let's see who else we got rocking and rolling. We got rocking and rolling with us. He said meme coin pre-launch sounds like a good way to get rinsed. You ain't lying about that. $10,000 Bitcoin incoming, man. Excuse me. I would hate to see that. Would hate to see it, but would love to see it. If Bitcoin hit $10,000, can you imagine how many people will be loading the boat? Well, who knows? People might get scared. People might get scared too. They might think it's going to go to zero. Little the bodyguard, what's going on with you, young man? He said, what do you think poly markets effect on crypto is? Oof, that's a good one, man. The poly markets, I remember years ago, I got a buddy of mine, he was in crypto before me, and they used to gamble online. They used to play poker with Bitcoin. They used to roll dice, play dice. I mean, it was always Bitcoin was kind of founded on a gambling aspect. Bitcoin was kind of originated, or I won't say originated, but that is what it used to be used for. It used to be used for gambling, used to be used for a lot of underground things, a lot of illegal activities. But I know a buddy of mine, he used to play poker with it. I mean, he said he had a lot of Bitcoin. And when it was all said and done, after he spent all his Bitcoins, he ended up having 6 Bitcoins left. And I think the last cycle, when he had his 6 Bitcoins, Bitcoin was maybe $50,000. So he had like $300,000 worth of Bitcoins. He ended up selling some, but back to the poly markets, Bitcoin was kind of always used as a gambling mechanism. So that's kind of, that's not out of the ordinary, but they really got to be careful that they don't get that they don't cross over too much and really start to look scammy with the poly markets and all the other things that you can um, bet with and wager with and all that kind of stuff. So, of course you can short, you got your shorts and your longs and all that stuff, but you know, I don't mess around with the poly markets, but I have been seeing it lot more frequent. XRP, JoJo is in the house. Uh oh. He said, check the chart. Something is starting to happen. Crypto, crypto codes say, check the charts. See what's going on. Still see Bitcoin 68, 621. See what else we got rocking and rolling, man. XRP. A lot of people still love XRP. He say it's 50% down already, and the S&P still ain't crashed, but it's on the brink. Bitcoin 50% down. Silver's about 50% down. That's why I say we could easily see another 50% down with Bitcoin. He said you're gonna always be wise minded me. Put the Machiavelli stuff to bed. 10,000 to 15K could very well happen. The market's about to crash. Bitcoin will have another 50% if the markets crash. Yeah, if the stock markets crash 25, 30%, we could easily see Bitcoin drop 50%, placing us to 35,000 easy. He said he was thinking 50% to 70% from the top. Well, we pretty much did 50%, right? 70%. will place us in the 40,000, maybe $30,000 range. The Dow's at $50,000 pound Bundy. Bitcoin is going way. Who's that? James Laurie. He said Bitcoin is going down, way down. Well, when Bitcoin is red, kind of like it is today, everybody say Bitcoin is going to go down. When it's green, everybody say it is going to go up. We down what, $500 on the day? Not bad. He said I'm not an XRP holder, but it is holding up against Bitcoin good. Man, I'm not gonna sleep on XRP. Not sleeping on XRP. BZ the Genius, what's going on with you, brother? XRP going back to 25 cents. Oh, that's cold. It's possible. If Bitcoin go down to $35,000, $40,000, can you imagine what XRP, Solana, and Ethereum would go down to? He said $10,000 Bitcoin means it's over. Yeah, we ain't going to 10K. $16,000 was the low for the last cycle. We might hit 30. Okay, he said Bitcoin would drop between 32 and 38. I like that number. People jumping in front of semis if a 10K Bitcoin happened. 10K Bitcoin is disastrous, bro. Beezy the Genius say some are saying that they think Bitcoin was the testing prototype for XRP to reign king. That's why the SEC tried to get rid of it here. Tried to get it out of here. Interesting. Bitcoin ain't going nowhere though. Craig B. So let's see how much the stock market drops. Yeah. Because the stock market, I mean, like I say, the overall S&P and the Dow has been going up, but a lot of the stocks have been going down. Even though the S&P say it's going up, the Dow say it's going up, Amazon getting whooped, Nvidia getting whooped. A lot of my stocks getting whooped. And I'm looking at the S&P. I'm like, it says going up, but my portfolio is getting dragged. So I'm getting ready to do some things this week with my stock market portfolio too, just to prepare myself. Miss Denise, what's going on with you, young lady? She say, hey, coach and family, just got home from work to join your live. Shouts out to Miss Denise. Always good to see you come hang out with the family. Brother JoJo say, now $35,000 is a good buying point for Bitcoin, but $10,000, be very afraid. He say XRP will carry us to the promised land. Well, I think XRP, I think there's really something good in store for XRP. There's a reason that XRP has been through all that it has been through. There was a reason that XRP was the only cryptocurrency altcoin that surpassed the Bitcoin market cap. Universal 3025, he's saying, I heard Bitcoin is going to be pointless before 2030 because of quantum computing and AI. That not even cold wallets will, that's not cold wallets won't even be safe. Well, there's like I say, Bitcoin is a store of value. So how will quantum computing and AI be bad for Bitcoin? No, Bitcoin is going to be around, in my opinion. And the fact that Bitcoin is international, I think that right there is positive. If XRP, like I mentioned before, if XRP can be used as a for the financial transactions, whether it's from country to country, or even if it's just in one country, various countries, the way Visa and MasterCard is being used, and the fees can be minimized. Oh, you're talking about overnight success? You're talking about the price shooting through the roof? If the real use case for XRP can be launched, maybe that's why all the non-disclosure acts are out there with XRP. Maybe it's a timing thing. Maybe they're waiting for deals in the background to really get solidified. If that happens, when that happens, you better watch out. You will be wishing that you were buying XRP at $1.40, $1.38. Every dip, I got certain coins that I'm buying whenever I see the dip. I got bags that I need to fill. XRP is one of those bags that I want to get filled. See who else we got rocking and rolling with us. He says quantum computer man can easily hack any crypto wallet seeds that would make 1 million years for us to do our technology we have now. XRP going to $33 this year. Hey, I wouldn't put nothing past these altcoins, but to go to $33, that means it will 30. That's like a 30x, a 25x, even that's like a 20x, something like that. Yeah, that'll put it past the market cap of Bitcoin. It's not gonna happen this year. It's not gonna happen this year, but it could get close to the market cap. It could get close to breaking Ethereum's market cap. So, baby steps, a little bit at a time. One tree here, one tree there. We're not gonna try to conquer the whole forest. We're gonna attack one tree at a time. He said, I think Iran and USA issue could be what drops the stock and crypto market. No, what's going to drop the market is the cycle. It's just the cycle that we're in, regardless what we're going through. Last year, we went through several issues, missile strikes here, missile strikes there, and the market just stood strong because that was just the time for Bitcoin to stand strong. So if it's the time for Bitcoin to dip, Bitcoin's going to dip. A few days ago, we seen or a month 3 weeks ago, we seen Bitcoin dip down to $60,000. There was no fighting. There were no missile strikes. There were no Russia talks. Well, none of that. It was peace. Everything was peaceful, and then we saw Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market just tank. It's called a bear market. Normal. 4-year cycles. Normal. So that's why I say the 4-year cycle is a great indicator. Fear and Greed Index been telling us a whole bunch. That's why I'm getting ready next week. Getting ready to move some things around my stock market portfolio. Matter of fact, I need to figure that out tonight. We're gonna see how the pre-markets are doing. Um, Interesting. Yeah, I gotta do some digging tonight. Gotta make some decisions. He said if we have 2008 style crash like I think we will, 90% is the $12,000 range. The fantastic seven were hold up the stock market. Everything has been weak. Yeah, the market has been weak. Peter Morton, what's going on with you, brother? Always good to see my people show up. What we got going on, talking about the cryptocurrency market, what directions we should be doing, and what moves we should be waiting for. But yeah, that stock market is key and critical, always have been key and critical. Um, so we really need to pay attention to that. Like you said, the Magnificent Seven will hold us up a little bit, but even those stocks are taking a beating. He said the Fed pumping liquidity into the bank in December is a sign they are trying to hold back an inevitable crash. Exactly. Yep. Pass me my helmet, coach. You ain't lying about that, man. Gear up. Gear up, because when it start to come down, that $60,000 is gonna look like $60,000 is gonna look good. Just like right now, $105,000 look good. Remember when we were $105,000 and we were saying, "Oh man, watch the market so low." Bitcoin was $105,000 and we were complaining. Excuse me. We were saying, "Damn, why the market so low? What's going on with the market?" Now we $68,000. But that's what happens. That's called a bear market. That is called a bear market. Next point, we'll be hitting the $50,000 range. We'll be looking at $68,000. Like, damn, I sure would love to see $68,000 Bitcoin. That's why it's so important to prepare right now. Like we should have been preparing when it was 105. Wise mind, a couple of fellas said they sold when it was 100K. Awesome, outstanding job. $68,000. What type of move are you going to make right now? Boom. Will we go down to the $50,000 ranges, or was $60,000 the bottom? Was $60,000 the bottom, and we'll just continue to bounce off that bottom and ping pong between 60 and 75K for months? Some people are calling for Bitcoin to get into the $30,000 range. Like Craig Beach say, if the stock market crashed 15, 20%, you could best believe Bitcoin will go down with the ship about 50 more percent, placing us to the $30,000 range. Bitcoin hit $30,000, $35,000. Can you imagine the market sentiment? If people are already fearful of Bitcoin, altcoins, can you imagine what those small cap altcoins will look like? Mm. Can you imagine what folks' portfolios will be looking like? I'm talking about getting drained out, getting dragged. Other day, I was buying more turbo coin, more turbo meme coin. I was like, damn, should I even be buying this thing? It had dropped another zero or added another zero. I mean, it was beat down 0.0008 or 9, something like that. It's tough. It's tough, man. It is not easy navigating in cryptocurrency, let alone navigating the cryptocurrency bear market. Oh, come on now. It takes a different type of human to invest in cryptocurrency. It take a different type of human to still be in it during the crypto bear market. I'm talking about the walls are closing in on us. The roofs are collapsing down on us. Get a little bit of breathing room, that get taken away. Like, hold up, man. That is what a cryptocurrency bear market, a cryptocurrency winter feels like, looks like we're experiencing right now. The volatility, the uncertainty. Y'all know what the uncertainty is. You read the comments right now. Somebody said $10,000 Bitcoin. Somebody said $30,000 Bitcoin. Other fellas said 58,000. Uncertainty all over the place. Close your eyes and throw the dart. That's how certain the cryptocurrency market is right now. How low will Ethereum go? Let's take a look at Ethereum right now. We know Ethereum is the king of altcoins. So let's take a look at the king of altcoins. See how low can Ethereum play. All right. Okay. December 2022, Ethereum was $1,276. That was the bottom. Well, June 2022, it hit 1,067. But we know the bottom of Bitcoin was later on, like October. So 1,000 Dollar Ethereum, $1,200 Ethereum, 2022. We zoom back last year, April 2025, we got down to $1,500 Ethereum. $1,500 Ethereum last year. Then we popped back up, broke a new all-time high, got to $4,900 Ethereum. Right now we back just below $2,000 Ethereum. We talk about Bitcoin, $60,000, $68,000 right now. If Bitcoin get cut in half from where it's at right now, we talking about $35,000. If Bitcoin get cut in half, we know Ethereum will be cut more than half. $2,000 Ethereum, you get cut. You talk about $1,000 Ethereum, and the low was $1,000 in 2022. Does that make sense? That's going to be interesting to see how that play out. But we know, also keeping in mind that altcoins did get destroyed in 2025, but Ethereum did make a new all-time high in 2025. So Ethereum did see some sort of a bull market. Even though altcoins, a lot of them got destroyed, Ethereum did see a new all-time high. Solana saw peaked at a high. XRP peaked at a high. So that's something we should be paying attention to also. Which one of those coins peaked or made a new all-time high? Maybe those are the coins that we should be sticking close to. Maybe those are the coins that we should have on our vision board. When the markets dip, those are the bags that we should be filling. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back and look at the altcoins that made a new all-time high or got in the area of new all-time high in 2025. And those are the ones that I'm going to have serious or more conviction in versus the ones that got destroyed that was down 70, 80%. So something that I'm going to be doing because I really want to strategically get this thing right as I plan for 2029, 2028, as I prepare for the next Bitcoin halving. Like I say, do not miss the forest for the trees. Zooming out, paying attention to the full scope of the cycle, not really just worried about one tree, 2 months, getting the bird's eye view and strategizing, documenting, marking, making notations of what I should be paying attention to in 2020, 2027. What points am I notating on the 2028 charts, 2029 charts? And then if things move, if things change, I can always do some revisions. But as of right now, what are my bulletin points? Where are my markers being placed? For 2026, where are my markers being placed? It is very important to get it right. Very important to really try to be as strategical as possible because this market goes very quick. Before you know it, things will get out of control and you'll miss various points because you wasn't properly strategizing. Take a look at Ethereum. We did hit February 12th, 1,914. What's the bottom point? $1,800. February 5th, 2026. So Ethereum only got to $1,800 during that dip where Bitcoin hit 60K. Now Ethereum's 1,987. Interesting to see the difference or to see how Ethereum runs alongside of Bitcoin. Sometimes they're aligned, sometimes they're not. Let's see. Compare. All right. So Bitcoin's in yellow. Ethereum. Okay. So recently, Ethereum, today, Ethereum has been outperforming Bitcoin over the past 7 days. Bitcoin. Okay. Interesting. On Coin Market Cap, you can compare Bitcoin to any coin. You could click a button and compare the price to see how it's lining up with Bitcoin. You could click any coin. Let me know any coin y'all want me to go to, and we can look at it and compare it and see how it has been running against Bitcoin. So I'm looking at Ethereum versus Bitcoin over the past 7 days. Ethereum's down 5.39% and Bitcoin's down 2.18%. So this is an excellent um, analysis to do. If you're looking at any altcoin, you can compare it to Bitcoin, you can compare it to Ethereum to see how it is lining up with the big dogs. Ethereum been around since 2015. Bitcoin been around since 2010. Very interesting to see how these things play out. Let's see who else we got rocking and rolling with us. 16x. What was that? Superman 2007. $33 XRP is hilarious. Jojo say, how come people don't stress about Ethereum dropping? Well, Bitcoin is the leading indicator. Bitcoin is the big dog. So Ethereum is just a typical altcoin. Ethereum is not the store of value. Ethereum is not the one that it's not what cryptocurrency was founded on. Cryptocurrency was founded on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the one that has the 4-year cycle. Every 4 years, Bitcoin have a Bitcoin halving. Ethereum do not. Nor the altcoins have a 4-year halving. So everything is sitting on the back of Bitcoin. Ethereum supports a lot of the altcoins. Ethereum is probably the top layer one altcoin blockchain, but Bitcoin is that one. Bitcoin is that dude. So Bitcoin could get away with a whole lot more than Ethereum could get away with a whole lot more than Bitcoin can. Ethereum could sit up there, hurt his ankle, be laid up. Remember last summer, Ethereum was getting treated for asthma attacks, for low blood pressure, high blood pressure. We was sending condolences card to old man Ether, but he bounced back. So Ethereum can get away with a whole lot more than Bitcoin can. Craig B say Ethereum has been that red-headed stepchild from day one. Oh, that's funny. He said, "You're right. $105,000 looks sweet right now, boy. Who you telling?" James Lowry said, "I know if XRP goes to $33, Fartcoin going to 55. Fartcoin going to 55 or it's going to zero." He said that's a 9x from XRP. Oh, 9x from XRP all-time high. Okay. Fartcoin has no utility. This must be your first cycle. He said, been holding Ripple for 5 years. Superman. You the real Superman. He said, no, I was just making a joke, Brody. He said, good news is after the crash, the Fed will activate quantitative easing, which will set us up for 2028, 2030. That's why I say, boy, we got to look at the whole forest. We can't just worry about the trees because this stuff is bigger than the tree. Craig B say I'm buying anything until the market correction comes and the dust settles. We know, excuse me, we got lower prices coming. One way to look at it. He said best altcoins to hold is Canton Network, XRP, excuse me, Kita, ZBEC, and Sui. He said he gonna pass on Solana. Okay. Remember, this banks will be in control for a while. Until then, I'm rolling with what they chose because it will take a couple of years for Ripple to get where they need to be. XRP probably won't even hit $2.50 next cycle. Ripple hold too much of the supply and dumps on retail. Canton will eventually flip it. It has better tokenomics and actually moves money. Now, wouldn't that be interesting if Canton flipped XRP? Because Canton is the new kid on the block. What number is Canton? Is number 16 right now with a market cap of $6 billion. XRP is number 4 with a market cap of $90 billion. So you're talking about 10, 12, 14. Damn, 14 times the amount of XRP is 14 times the amount of Canton, something like that. That's interesting. That's very interesting. He said they just want Michael Saylor out. Who want Michael Saylor out? Michael Saylor said he ain't going nowhere. He said, don't forget Kita. It's a lot faster and cheaper. I feel you on Canton. Okay, everybody liking CC. He said, when capitulate altcoins into Bitcoin. Privacy coins. I bought Solana at $20. Awesome. That means you still in the green. See if it get back down to 20. Legacy, what's going on with you, brother? She say, how are you guys? Still still kind of like this. They will all be securities under clarity. Everybody waiting. Everybody's waiting for the clarity act. He said Keto doesn't have any institutions rushing in to grab them. Sorry, but no thanks. Let's see what Keto is all about. I haven't heard anybody talk about Keto too much. Let's see. See what Keto is talking about. See what the heck. Keto currently the number 228 largest cryptocurrency coin in the world, sitting at 26 cents today. On the day, it is down 1%. On the week, it's up 7%. See how long this coin been out. Brand new coin. Been out for almost a year. Came out March 2025 at 16 cents. Currently, right now, it's 26 cents. It did hit $1.60 June 2025. Then it went down to 50 cents July 2025 and pumped right back up to $1.50 August 2025. And then it just bled out since there. Got down to 25 cents October 2025, doing that 10-10 crash. Went back up to 50 cents October 25th. And then just been bleeding. Now it's back at 26 cents. Okay. Definitely a low value compared to what it's been through. Market cap $131 million. Hmm. Let's see what platforms you can buy this coin on. Some Coinbase. Okay, it is on Coinbase. So that's pretty positive. It does have great visibility if it's on Coinbase. So I to check it out. It's a brand new coin, been out since March 2025, so almost a whole full year. Very interesting. I'm going to have to check a look. Keto was at 1 cent. I don't see it ever. I don't see it hitting 1 cent. 1 cent keto. That means you racked up what is that, 26 cent right now? Yeah, it's at 26 cent. I don't the charts don't ever show this hitting 1 cent. Mm-mm. Maybe 10 cent. Not 1 cent. He say he rocking with Bitcoin, Canton, Crow, Binance, Solana. That will be my starting five. I'll have three memes, one from Ethereum, one from Solana, and one from Binance. Sound like a great lineup to me. D Stans, what's going on with you, brother? You say, what up, coach? Crypto, been fumbling like a mofo. Still holding and DCA in when I can. Well, crypto's just doing what it's supposed to be doing right now in a bear market. Crypto's supposed to be looking like a rookie. Supposed to be fumbling the bag. One play, it start to look like Bo Jackson. Next day, you turn around, it get to looking like what's another running back? Get to looking suspect, man. So this is what happens in a bear market. One day it starts to look promising, and then boom, the red candle starts to take control. So this is normal. This is what a bear market is supposed to look like. So can't be surprised when we're seeing movements like we're seeing right now. When we're seeing look like Bitcoin is fumbling the bag, look like altcoins don't even want to be in the game. So we're just waiting and sitting back idle for opportunities to dollar cost average in. So if this is your first time rocking with your boy Stock Holiday, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's go. So fan 2323 say, what are your thoughts on Banker token? Banker token. All right, it's so many altcoins out there. I ain't never heard of Banker token. What the heck? It's so many coins out there. What the hell is Banker token? I could tell you one thing. It sounds like a scam coin just for the name that is called Banker. Banker coin? Come on now. He said it's on base, on Coinbase too, man. Just because a coin is on Coinbase these days don't mean nothing. Coinbase been with the ish. Binance been with the ish. Robinhood been with the ish. These cryptocurrency exchanges have been milking it as much as they can. So those days of people getting excited because a coin is on Coinbase, those days are over. Getting excited because a coin got listed on Robinhood. Look at Robinhood right now. Robinhood look like a cryptocurrency exchange. Robinhood say, F that, we're going to get some of y'all money too. Superman say he rocking with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, HBAR in that order. Don't forget about HBAR. I think HBAR is going to be a significant player in the cryptocurrency game as well. Um, ISO 222 coins only. You can't fail. Okay. Okay. D Stan said Banker had a nice run. Sorry I missed it. Yeah, if it had a run, it's probably done. You have any coins that I could DCA in, coach? Yep, hit me on the Inbox me on the side on the Patreon. I'll give you a list of some of the coins that I'm kind of bullish on, what my DCA bag is positioned and looking like. I got a bag of coins. When the DCA time comes, boom, I got them bags open and ready. So inbox me in the Patreon. Let's chop it up. JoJo said Boeing deals with H bar. That was all I had to hear. See, great news. Great news. We know Boeing is not going anywhere. So if they cut a deal with H bar, come on now, that's a no brainer. That is a no brainer. Bitcoin stress signal is flashing again. Hmm. A lot of people like Bit and Sword Towel. It's number 35. It's up 9-10% today. Now that right there is impressive. Looking at the characteristics of Towel, the fact that it's up 10% on a day like today says a lot. Always good to pay attention to the characteristics of these altcoins, especially. We know what Bitcoin is. We know what Bitcoin is all about. We already understand the characteristics of Bitcoin because we understand a little bit more of what the 4-year cycle entails. What the 4-year cycle means, we have a better understanding of it. But these altcoins are very important for us to pay close attention to the movements and the characteristics of each and every one of them. So Tile Bit Source up 10% today. That's impressive. Over the past 7 days, Bit and Sword Tile is up 25%. That's saying something. You know what? Let me go ahead and clip Tile and compare it with Bitcoin. Knocking it out the water. Knocking it out the boat. Over the past week, Bit and Sword Tile. The price today, $198 for Tile, $68,700 for Bitcoin. Over the past week, Tile is up 25%. Bitcoin is down 2.19%. Always good to see and compare the characteristics of your altcoins to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's going up and your altcoins going down, that's a little suspect. If your altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin, it deserves a pat on the back. It deserves some attention. Take a look at the market cap of Bit and Sword Tile. $2.12 billion market cap. Bitcoin 1.3 trillion. Maximum supply 21 million for Tile. Maximum supply 21 million for Bitcoin. I didn't know the supply was so low for Tile. Tile Bit Sword been around since 2023. I think it had a little bit of a partnership. I think it collaborated with some coin to make Bit and Sword Tile, but I think that coin been around for a little longer than that. Tile is currently the number 35th largest cryptocurrency coin in the world. So over the past week, it's outperforming Bitcoin. Over the past 30 days, Bit and Sword Tile is down 27% over the past month. Yeah, we understand that the month has been red because of that $60,000 crash that we saw. But Bit and Sword Tile is down 27% and Bitcoin is down 27%. So that's perfect. If you can line up and follow Bitcoin, salute to you. But you take a look at the recovery. Which one is recovering faster? Bit and Sword Tile is recovering faster. Let's see. Ooh. Now, over the past 90 days, Tau is down 40%. Bitcoin is down about 30%. Interesting movements. Interesting movements. Hmm. Over the past over the past 3 years, Bitcoin Tau is up 98%. Bitcoin is up 191%. Interesting. Always interesting to pay attention to the characteristics of your coins. Numbers won't lie. Developers can lie. The cryptocurrency exchanges can place false narratives. You take a look at the numbers, you do your own due diligence, you say, hold up, man. These numbers ain't gonna lie to me. See who else we got rocking and rolling with us today. He said you still bullish on XCN. I still like XCN, but that's another one where you have to do when you're doing your portfolio analysis, you have to find what the levels are, how low you think it's going to go down to. Do you think it has a chance to recover? How long has that coin been in existence? Have that coin already topped? So forth and so on. When we were bullish on XCN, we were bullish before it popped. Now that it popped, does that mean that the bubble has popped for that particular coin? Once it popped, it spilled out. Will it recover? Will it recover is the question that you have to ask yourself with so many altcoins. He said, hey, coach, what's your low for AROZ network? I haven't really looked at it like that. So I need to take a look at AROZ network and kind of identify some levels on AROZ. That's a great question because I still like AROZ network at these low prices that it's at right now. Say Stock Holiday is an absolute OG, keeps it real and honest. Appreciate that, man. Shouts out to Justin Entertainment. George say, what up, Coach H bar to the moon? I still got a position in H bar. I'm gonna ride H bar for a minute. H bar is an OG coin. It's been around for a while. H bar could really have some significance in the cryptocurrency market with digital assets and blockchain and so forth. I think H bar can find its way and position and find want to do some partnerships with some various institutions. I think H bar can be a very significant coin. Corey Drum say, my man stocks portfolio down the value of a Mercedes Benz right now. How much is it down? My cryptocurrency portfolio, I could have bought me a couple of couple of them joints, man. Yeah, my altcoins, boy. Whew. Maybach and something else. E Money, what's going on, man? He said they're a great accumulation level stock. And if it goes down even further, then that will be a bigger opportunity as well. Down with the ship. Going down with the ship. As the bear market continues to get deeper and deeper, we talked about the fact that we could even get lower, 50% lower than where we're at right now. If Bitcoin is at $68,000, we could see 34. We could still see Bitcoin drop 50% from the levels that it's at right now. A bear market and crypto winter is something that you'll never forget. Just like seeing a traditional bull market is something you'll never forget. But we didn't see a traditional bull market. So will we not see a traditional bear market? That is something that you have to ask yourself. When we talk about the shifts in the cycle, that is something that we really have to pay attention to. The fact that we didn't see the traditional bull market, will that give us some kind of inclination that we won't see a traditional bear market? Maybe $60,000 was the low. Maybe the bear market won't last as long. The bull market did last similar length. The structure of it changed. The aggressiveness of it was not as strong. So will the aggressiveness of the bear market be not as strong? That is something that we really have to pay attention to. Maybe we won't go down to $30,000. Maybe $60,000 was it. Maybe $60,000 was it. We were expecting Bitcoin to hit $150,000 to hit $175,000. The shift, the cycles, things have changed as far as the aggressiveness. Maybe Bitcoin is not going to have explosive pumps like before. Maybe altcoins are not going to have and give us the 50x's. Maybe the bear market is not going to go down 70, 75%. Maybe $60,000 was it, down 50%. That is something to think about. Earl Shipley said, got over 1 million. Casper, 5 million. Elizos, Hope 1. Hope one day be 1 million. Next crypto will explore. Yeah, this is just something that we just kind of got to ride out. We're getting into some cheap plays right now. I remember when I first bought AIOZ network at a penny, I had no idea of how far that it would get. I always hoped that it could get to great levels, just like when we got in open custody protocol, or used to be called, what was it called before then? It was called something else. We thought that coin was going to explode, and it could have, but it just didn't. But you just never know which one of these coins will go from a zero to a hero. They're out there. There still will be coins that will give you massive gains, massive multipliers, but it's going to be hard to pick them this time because there's just so many. And then if you pick some of the coins that have large market caps, it is only so much and so high that these coins will go. But we talked about Canton CC network earlier today, and we talked about how close or how far away it is from XRP market cap wise. It would take Canton network to do maybe a 15x to get to where XRP is. So even if it does a 7x, that'd be awesome. So looking at things through that perspective, being content with a 5x, 7x, nothing wrong with that. Excuse me. But things are going to play out a lot different this time around, as we saw the bull market that we're just getting out of. We saw how sporadic that was. We saw baby altcoin season happen beginning of 2024. We're talking about the year of the Bitcoin halving. Before the Bitcoin halving came of 2024, we saw a baby altcoin season. That is something that you have to keep in the back of your mind. When the Bitcoin halving of 2028 come, we have to ask ourselves and think back, okay, the Bitcoin halving of 2024, we saw a little bit of an altcoin season happen at the beginning of that year. We understand that we had the Bitcoin ETFs during that period also, so that could have been part of it. But nevertheless, altcoins exploded the first quarter of 2024. So that's why I am going to be going very heavy 550 days before the next Bitcoin halving, and then whatever happens after that, I'm going to already be positioned in it. Hopefully, I'll be able to get to a coin similar to how we did AIOZ network and get in there early. Set it and forget it. Let that joker just run up. See who else we got rocking and rolling with us. He said, I got over me and Casper. Okay. Credo. T1, 10, what's going on, man? Credo, boy. Man, I thought Credo was going to get me out the ghetto. I thought Credo was going to get me out the hood. Boy, I said, ooh, getting that damn Credo. I think the all-time high for Credo was $9. And we was in it at, man, that thing started to rebrand. We kept holding on, thinking it was going to recover, and we just continued to get whooped. Continued to get whooped. I said, what? Whew. That was a learning experience. If I ever see anything go through a rebrand again, it's a no for me. I ain't doing no more rebrands. Fool me once, shame on you. We got destroyed. See what Bitcoin's looking like right now. $68,689. Solana 86 bucks. I think Solana did hit 90 bucks. Yesterday hit $90. Yeah, so cryptocurrency, always take a break and kick back and have a little bit of a cruise control mode on the weekends when the stock market's closed. The holidays like today, the stock market is closed. Tomorrow, we don't know what we're going to wake up to. We don't know if the stock market's going to start collapsing in tomorrow. We don't know if Bitcoin's going to dip below $60,000 next week. It already tested $70,000. So was that the high test point? Was that the high test point before we see lower lows? Before we go lower than $60,000? What will the end of February look like? We're talking about 5 straight months of red. It's a bear market, so you can't be surprised. It is what it is. When will we see that relief rally? Quarter one. Whew, quarter one, 2026 is looking bad, but rightfully so, even though last year, even in November, a lot of people saying, man, I'm gonna give it to February 2026. If it don't pop by February 2026, I'm out. January 2026 came, it didn't pop. February 2026, we're sitting in the middle of red candles. We just seen the market drop to $60,000, and you're gonna be out right now at the low. You survived all the way 2025. You struggled. You went through all of the modes, the movements of 2025, only to make it all the way to 2026 and exit. But I get it. Everybody's risk tolerance is different. Cryptocurrency, altcoins have been a struggle. So some people say, you know what? Let me just go ahead and cash out my 45,000 bucks that I got left. Let me cash out my $2,000 that I got left. And I'm gonna be cool with that. I was talking to one fella last week. He did something similar. He had about $28,000 left. He said, "Coach, I'm about to I'm about to pull these, pull out what I got." I'm like, "Okay." He said, "What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull out what I got. I'm just gonna hold it and play with it. If it dipped, then I'm gonna start easing back in. But I don't want to watch that 27K turn into 15K. He said, I've already seen the 60K turn into 27K. I don't want to see the 27K turn into 15K or 10K. So let me pull that 27K outside on the side. I feel more comfortable like that. I'm like, oh, I get it. I get it. And let me cut my loss right here. And let me go ahead and play with this 27K instead of having it all in right now. And we can see further lows, further dips. I know I'm running a risk that it could pop, it could shoot up, but that is the risk that I am willing to take. So you got to respect everybody's strategy. You got to respect everybody's decision as the CEO. So I said, I get it, and things like that will give you, a little bit more comfort. I gave him a lot more comfort. He said, now I got this 27K in my hand. Now I got this dry powder in my hand. Now I can do a whole nother complete portfolio analysis. Some of those coins that I was in, I probably won't get back in them. So we did a whole little portfolio analysis. We talked about some of the coins that could be lucrative. We just did a whole restructure. And I said, hey, awesome idea. Awesome idea. So, it's more than one way to skin a cat. It's more than one way to do it. Very challenging market to be invested in, but patience is very important. Understanding the 4-year cycle is very important. So, um, who else we got? Tony Trump is in the house. Tony Trump says, sorry, I'm late. Good evening, folks. Man, shouts out to Tony Trump. It's always a pleasure seeing the Donald Trump representative come and join us. Tony Trump is in the house. Maybe he'll inbox me later and give me some of the ins and outs, what's going on in the White House, some of the things we could be looking forward to. He'll probably tell us and let us know when the Clarity Act is going to be passed, because he got a lot of the insights from his uncle. A lot of y'all don't like his uncle, but he got the first line as far as the information. So he always come hang out with us, give us the information. Hey, Tony Trump, if you don't hit me, hit one of the moderators, hit Craig Beach, something like that, and let us know what we should be looking forward to. Let us know when you think the bottom's going to be. Let us know if he's going to do some tariff talk again and crash the market. Let us know. Because I wish you had a talk last year when the Liberation Day came. But now that you know us, you're part of the family, give us the insight. You got my email address. You got my information. Holla at us. Shouts out to Tony Trump. Jack Ken said, I'm loading up on Cardano while it's low. A lot of people love Cardano. A lot of people been talking about Cardano for years. Who knows what Cardano will do? Cardano's been around 4 years, similar to XRP, Solana, but it's still considered the altcoins. These altcoins have been getting dragged and destroyed, especially when we're talking about being right in the middle or at the middle of a bear market. Man, who knows what can happen to coins like Cardano, how low they can go, how low can XRP go? Will XRP get below $1? Will Solana get below $50? This is just something that we're going to have to stomach in the meantime until things start to get a little bit more stable, whenever that is or whatever that looks like. But it is going to be a tough year of 2026. You go back and look at the year of 2022. 2022 was tough. 2022 did not have nowhere near as much nervousness as 2026 has. Crazy to say, but it was a whole different climate. See who else we got rocking and rolling with us. He said, if you hold XRP, you're riding in a Chevette. If you hold Canton, you're riding in a Corvette. And if you hold Kita, you in a Cheetah. Key to the cheetah, you in the Lambo. He said, keep buying the dips. Simple as that. Keep buying the dips. He said, the bull run is coming. Y'all just relax and wait. How patient can you be? If you don't have enough courage, you don't have enough patience, you're going to miss the bull run. Be patient and wait till the bull run come. Yeah, I noticed the bear market. I know it's going to be tough. He said, I'm DCAing all day long. Any dips that come across, boom, dollar cost average in. Have your coins identified, having your plays ready. So when we do see a dip in the market, you already know which plays to go to because you already have your bags identified. Me, I know I got my XRP bag identified amongst a host of other bags that I need to fill. A lot of my bags are already filled, but I want to get my XRP bag filled a lot more than what it is right now. Something about XRP is really pushing towards me. I'm hearing everybody talk about Canton Network. Canton is a new coin. I do want to get positioned in Canton. He said the Supreme Court decision on the tariffs will be final. Will be the final blow to the markets from February 20th until May, June. We get an answer. James Lowry said, be patient. The market will come back. Times like now is when we make money. Times like now is when we need to be courageous. Times like now is when we need to trust the process the most. If you were trusting the process in 2025 because we were expecting the process to be bullish, then you really have to trust the process right now. Like I always say, it's very easy to trust it. Market's green when Bitcoin's pumping, when everything is sounding good, looking good. But when it's looking like doom and gloom, it is very hard to trust any play. Very hard to part ways with your dry powder when you're seeing red candles. When you're hearing talks of it might go lower. Could go 50% lower than where we are right now. Definitely take courage. $68,600 for Bitcoin. And the crazy part about it is a lot of these coins in the top 100 coin market cap, I don't know what they are, where these coins came from. But later on in the year, I'm going to take a dive into all of the coins because I really need to identify and find my next XCN, my next AIOZ network, my next turbo meme coin. I need to find those this summer. I need to find those this summer. Because I remember in 2022, we were buying up coins, and a lot of those coins we were buying in 2022, those were the ones that paid us well. So 2026, the summer of 2026, going to be doing super deep dives. Start back doing the videos, identifying the coins like we did in 2022. We did videos on AIOZ Network, Pendle, Spell Token, even though Spell Token tanked. We did videos on Turbo and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to start back doing the videos on the individual coins, how we were doing in 2022 and, getting ready for the next Bitcoin halving. Jabari Andrews said crypto investors need to start having a stock market mindset. Having a stock market mindset. Stock market mindset as far as being more patient. It's really hard because cryptocurrency, especially altcoins, when they drop, 80, 90%, it's hard to have a stock market mindset. It's hard to have a stock market mindset when you see your investment going down 80, 90%. So it's a whole different animal. Stock markets versus cryptocurrency is like a dog versus a bull, or like a dog versus a cat, something like that. You can't, it's hard to compare the two. Now, if you want to talk about Bitcoin in the stock market, I'll give you that. But altcoins, whole different giddy up. Real estate buy and flip mindset. He say crypto need to have a real estate buy and flip. You need to go in there and buy these coins while they broke down, while they ain't got no roof. Some of these coins ain't got no toilets. Some of these coins you get in there, they ain't got no windows. So you go in there, you build them up, you buy them low, build them up, and once you build them up, you sell them. You sell them to the highest bidder, man. So that is an excellent description, brother Craig. You these things, you flip them. Once you flip them, you be up out of there. Otherwise, somebody gonna come in there and break your windows. Somebody gonna come in there, cave your roof in, and before you know it, you right back to square one. You say, "Hold up, I just put new windows in here. I just put a new roof in here. Now it's right back down to $2. Hold up, I had just put the value up to $20. Now it's right back down to $2. Now I got to put more money in it. And sometimes you put more money in, the value just never gets back to where it was. So you ain't lying about that, brother Craig. He said it run up, then we out of there. You ain't lying. What? Y'all, yeah, a lot of these coins, I'm like, man, where these coins come from? I see Uniswap still number 34. Stable, some coin called Stable, number 76. Some coin called M, number 39. I know Atom, Nexo, JST, LIT. Bitcoin Cash is number 10. Wow. Bitcoin Cash is number 10 now. Ooh, now that is interesting. Pepe Coin down to number 38. Bitcoin Cash number 10 is banana. Y'all better pay attention to Bitcoin Cash. Sui is under $1 at 98 cents. Filecoin is under $1 at 97 cents. Chainlink under $10, $8.90. H-bar, 10 cent. 10-cent H-bar. Dash, $38. Render, $1.45. ADA under 30 cent at 28 cents. Ando, 27 cents. Aave, $126. XRP, $1.48. Bonk is getting destroyed. Arbitrum, 11 cent. Poor Casper sitting at 3 cent. Wow. Crow coin back at 8 cent. Solana, $86. Litecoin, $55. AVAX, $9. Mm. It's tough out there in these crypto streets. ICP, $2.40. Trump coin, $3.38. Zero coin, ZRO. Quant, $69. CC Canton 16 cents. Zcash $2.91. $291. Wow. Remember, Zcash is one of the ones that had an amazing pump. Zcash got all the way up to, was it $700? Now it's down to $291. November 2025 was $700. That's $291. Welcome to the bear market. If nothing else tells you Zcash, September 2025 was $50, went all the way up to the top. November 2025, $700. Now we are down to $291. This is what a bear market looks like. It's what a bear market looks like. Nobody's shocked. Nobody's surprised. Zcash made a new all-time high. Zcash hit its all-time high from 2017. Interesting. Interesting. There it is. It's an official bear market. A lot of folks, 2025 was saying, you know what? I'm going to give the market to January 2026. Maybe we'll see an extension. Maybe the cycle will be extended. Give it to February 2026. But if nothing popped by February 2026, I am going to be out. So you mean you're going to exit at the bottom? If we're not at the bottom, we're near, very close to the bottom, and you're going to give up and exit at that point? Everybody got choices. But altcoins are very tough. It's very tough to have faith in altcoins. You might not have faith in altcoins, but old Bitcoin is going to be around. Will Bitcoin hit $250,000 in 2028, 2029? Can you still do a 4 or 5x in Bitcoin? How low will Bitcoin get? Will it get lower than $60,000? Were you one of the ones regretting not buying Bitcoin at $16,000 in 2022? Thinking that Bitcoin was going to go down to $8,000? I mean, everybody said 8,000. Everybody said Bitcoin is going down to $8,000 in 2022. I was like, okay, Mike, we were still buying at 19,000, 20,000. Oh, it's going to go to 8. Okay, if it go to 8, we're going to buy 8 too. Just like right now, Bitcoin gets 60. All right, we're going to buy 60. Or it still might go lower than that, coach. That's cool. We're going to buy there too. We're going to buy there too. However low you want to go, Mr. Bitcoin, we're going to be right there with you. We ain't going to let you go there by yourself. I'm going to be right there. You go down to $1, guess who's going to be right there? Me? $1? Oh, man. Let Bitcoin get to $1. Boy, they're going to be like, man, you ain't got no money. No, I ain't got no money. Everything is in Bitcoin. I got about 4,000 Bitcoin. Man. So just a tough time that we're going to have to go through in 2026. But the most important thing is to have a strategy, have a plan. You want to make sure you don't miss the forest for the trees. Zoom out, understand the macro, understand the bigger picture. Really pay attention to the 4-year cycle, because the 4-year cycle is still solid as a rock. It may not be as strong or aggressive as it once was. It may flip and switch back, who knows, to that aggressive mode. But nevertheless, 550 days before the Bitcoin halving is where you're going to see me loading the boat. 500 days after the Bitcoin halving, out of there, exiting, taking profits, understanding the process, trusting the 4-year cycle. So just something that we got to pay attention to. Dollar cost averaging, understanding that we could still see the market go lower than where we're at right now. Not going to get comfortable, not going to try to overthink what the market is telling us, not going to try to be smarter than what the 4-year cycle is saying that we're supposed to be seeing. We might see Bitcoin pump to $75,000, $79,000. I'm gonna let it do what it's gonna do. I'm not gonna be buying, not gonna be chasing anything, not gonna be FOMOing into any play. Ethereum get back to $2,500. I'm not FOMOing in because my positions are already set. Um, I'm good at what I got right now. If it goes lower, then I'll add to it, but I'm not going to be buying any tops because you buy those tops, it could easily cave and come back in, and then you'll be upset saying, damn, shoulda, woulda, coulda. I should have waited. I shouldn't have been chasing like we were doing in 2025, like we learned in 2025. Do not chase the tops. Do not chase these green candles. Yeah, look nice, beautiful. Look like it's the best thing moving. Look like it's going to continue to pump. And then you know how fast things could come down after a great pump. So you really have to be careful in how you move around. You got to be careful that you don't fall for the fakes. You don't fall for the shakes. You don't want to hear uh, Peyton Manning back there calling the audible on you. Edger and James there getting ready to run through the middle, and you in prevent defense, giving up 10 yards each run. You got to be careful how you are playing. In the bear mode, playing a lot of defense. I'll be playing a lot of defense in this bear market of 2026. I'm going to need Ronnie Lott. I'm going to need Mike Singletary, Ray Lewis, Rod Woodson, Charles Woodson, Deion Sanders, need prime time out there. Bruce Smith, LT. Who else I need on my D line? I need the hitters. You know, the bear market, you need your hitters out there. I got my safeties out there. Ronnie Lott, Rod Woodson. I got my DBs. I need Champ Bailey. I need the hitters out there. Warren Sapp. Need Warren Sapp out there. You know, so that's how we gonna rock and roll, man. Getting ready for 2026 bear market. Make sure you got your defensive linemen in there. Make sure you got your linebackers in there. Your DBs got to be locked in. You want to make sure nobody get burnt on the sideline. Make sure Bitcoin ain't throw the ball over top on you. Want to make sure you're locked in. Make sure you're ready. So I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, and that's all I got for you on this one. It's your boy, Stock Holiday, and I'm out.